Hello, welcome back to St Michael's Hill. So this is going to be part 3 of the HST modification project, where we're taking a load of the Hornby old toolings of the HST model they did and upgrading them and updating them and modifying them in certain ways. So part 1 was a bit of an introduction to the project, what I'm looking to do. And part 2, I looked at recreating 43068 and 43080, which are two of the buffer fitted power cars. This video is going to be looking at what I'm doing to recreate 43006, but in a failed condition. So it's going to be in a condition where a failure's happened and it's being towed by another loco. So part of that is already been done. I showed you in the last video. The access panel on the front has been cut out, removed, which I have separately. Now I'm going to basically work out a way to couple this to another locomotive. Now there are various ways to do this, but I've been kind of having a look at what would work best and what is going to be kind of as universal as it can be. So I'm thinking about using a couple of things. So I have an old or an unused NEM pocket. So I'm going to try and fix the NEM pocket up inside here. There's some, I don't know if you can see. So just inside the access panel, if it'll focus. There's a flat piece of plastic which I'm hoping to stick the NEM pocket in and then add a coupling to that. Now, I was thinking of using a simple tensor lock coupling. There's a couple of reasons why. So there's a user on RM Web who I've been chatting with, and he's done this with his and says it works quite well. However, having looked at it, I'm a little bit worried about A, kind of how it will look, but B, I'm a little worried about the height. It just seems very high there. Compared to something else, so I'm also concerned about the length. By the time it's stuck there, there's not too much clearance between that and another loco. So I have picked up a little pack of these. So these are the bar couplings from the Bachmann 411, I believe. So yeah, it's here we go, class 411 drawbars. So I'm going to try and use these, slot into the NEM pocket, and hopefully that'll give me a bit more clearance, and it's slightly more prototypical as well because the HST has a bar coupling. Now obviously that's not going to be kind of seen too often, but yeah, it's something that is slightly more stereotypical, or prototypical, sorry. So if this works, I'm going to try and use this. Now I will show you in a second how it's looking. There is an issue, so I'm going to hopefully be able to have locos kind of basically doing thunderbird views on this HST. So the two that I'm most likely to use are 47s and 37s. So I've got this 37 here which has got NEM couplings, and so I'm going to quickly have a quick look at it, slot the bar in, and we'll see what's what. So bear with me and I'll be right back when that's done. So here we go. Obviously the bar coupling's slotted straight into the NEM pocket, which is, you know, perfect. It's obviously what it's made for, no issues there. There's a little bit of an issue with this hose here being caught, but that's not a massive deal. As you know, most of the layouts are pretty straight. So let's show you what happens when I get the HST and show up to it now. I'm not sure how easy it is to see, but as you can see, yeah, there we go. So as you can see, it's basically not quite going in there. It needs to be slightly higher. So need to work out a way of getting that bar to come up a little bit. Now it might just be that it can bend a little bit, so just simply it can lift up a little bit, but it is quite a solid bar. So you can see if I do that, it's not quite straight, but it potentially could be used like that. But yeah, it's quite a straight, solid bar because there are a couple of wires in it that usually on the 401 connect, obviously lighting or whatever, maybe it's pickups, but whatever reason there's an electrical passing through the bar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and take the bar apart and see if I can take those metal bars out and see if it improves it any. So here we go. This is what is inside. There is obviously one side of the bar, there's two metal pieces that are used for connectivity, and then there's this. Now I've basically bent this slightly just to give us a little bit more of an angle to go in. So if I now attach this to the Class 37, there we go. As you can see now, there's quite a lot of additional height on that. It should slot straight onto the HST. So I think this is going to be a solution. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the NEM pocket in place inside the HST, and then I'll be able to test it properly. I'm probably going to get it to that sort of distance. So I might need to, hopefully I can lower that a little bit. But yeah, that looks like a kind of suitable and fairly subtle coupling to me. So I'm going to look at doing that, and I'll let you know once that's done. So in preparation for gluing the NEM pocket in, I've done a couple of things. Firstly, I've just filed down the edge or the side of one side, just because there was a number on there. So I just want to get better contact, so I've just given that a little bit of a file. In addition, I've removed the little back piece here, just to give me a little bit more surface to glue to the unit. So I'm just going to glue it onto this bar here in the centre, and hopefully that'll be enough. I'm kind of slightly worried about the fact that this is going straight onto the body and not onto the bogie or anything which is going to be able to move, so it might be a little restrictive, but hopefully it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Like I said, this is going to be mainly used on layouts that are mostly straight, so we don't need too much of a turning curve, but I'll see. Hopefully it will be okay. So I'm just going to glue this section in here, and yeah, once that's done, I'll see if it all fits up together nicely. I'm probably going to just use a bit of super glue, and then once it's in place, I might use some polystyrene cement just to kind of add a bit of extra strength. So I'll get back to you as soon as it's done. So excuse the horrendous flash here, but as you can see, the NEM pocket is now in place behind where the access panel will be. I'm just waiting for that to fully dry, probably overnight, and then I will check how that fits with the drawbar. I will quickly just line it up and see without kind of pushing it in, because I don't want to cause any stress to the glued NEM pocket at this stage. But we'll have a quick look now and see if we're along the right tracks. So yeah, as you can see, I think we're going to be bang on there. So once the glue is dried a little bit overnight, I'm probably going to add a little bit of polystyrene cement as well to the join, just to get it even stronger. But I think once that's done, we'll be ready to test it out. So now that I've got the coupling added, I've brought it to the track, and you can see straight away we've got a bit of a problem here. So first problem is, certainly with this wagon, there is not enough weight in the wagon to pull down on the bar, so the axle is completely off the rails. I will try in a second with another loco, because obviously this is going to be pulled by a loco most of the time, so it's worth trying there. The other thing I'm slightly worried about is there's not enough flexibility in the rod. It's not in any way like sprung or has any movement in it, so I'm worried about it turning a corner. So I will get a loco on here, see if that works, and if it does, I will try putting around some corners, seeing what the effect is. If it doesn't, I think it's going to need a complete relook at anyway. Okay, so here we go with the Bachmann Class 37. As you can see, there's no issue here with wheels not touching the ground, so not too much of a problem. I am still concerned though that it won't turn corners, so I'm going to give it a quick test, and we'll see how it reacts over a set of points, and then I'll maybe get out some set track curves and see how it deals with those. So I've now got the 37 hooked up with the power car, and let's see how they perform whilst connected over the tightest curve on the layout. It's not a huge radius one, so it's not a hugely tight radius, so I think if it can't do this, then we need to look at a bit of a redesign on the coupling. I think, as you can already see, the power car's back bogie is lifting up around the corner. It's kind of close to being acceptable. What I might try and do is reattach the NEM pocket, but in a way that kind of allows a little bit of movement. I think that's probably the next bet, and once that's done, hopefully that gives me the little bit of flexibility that I need to get this working in a way that's kind of acceptable. So you can see things are lifting off there. But yeah, we're not too far away, but I think a little bit more modelling is required to get that coupling right. So my first try solution is to take one of the NEM pockets and basically trim off the usual bit that screws to the base, and then I have already used some polystyrene cement just to kind of glue the pocket into there, which should just give me a little bit of flex, which I'm hoping is going to be enough. And then it's just a case of I've removed the NEM pocket that was there before, filed down the kind of edges with a glue where I'm going to reattach the mounting to the pocket into the place where the pocket was before. Hopefully that's going to give me just a little bit of flex that I need to be able to get around the corners. So there we go, that's in place now. I've been very careful to just put glue along this section here rather than the pocket itself. I don't want the pocket to stick to the end of the fairing here, so it's just a case of getting that in glued whilst leaving this able to move. And as you can see, there's a lot more flexibility in this cable now, in the connector now. So hopefully once that's fully dried, I'm going to leave it overnight, it will allow enough movement within the coupling to come around the corners, and hopefully then I'll just be able to get the body back on. So I've now waited for it to dry. I've given it a quick, I've given the bar itself a quick coat of primer, so it's now grey. And yeah, let's see how it works now at going around these corners. Wonderful. As you can see, that's so much better. It's not coming off the track at all. So yeah, I'm very, very, very happy with how that's working. I think we'll probably leave it there for today's video. The only other thing that needs to be done in terms of a modelling kind of piece before the painting, that needs to be done, although I will do it after the painting, is put the access panel back on. So the access panel where the bars come out of in real life would lift up here. So I will model that at some point, but I do want to make sure that all the painting is done and the lighting clusters are all back in place before I add that. So that's probably going to be the last thing I do. But yeah, I think for today we'll leave that there. it's kind of now in a working condition. The next thing I'm going to be doing to both this and the other body shells is to strip them of paint, and then look to get them repainted and renumbered and all that sort of stuff into the correct numbered units. So thanks very much again for joining me at St Michael's Hill. Again, as always, if you like what you see, please subscribe. It really does help. This week I hit 350 subscribers, which has just blown my mind completely. I couldn't have ever imagined getting to 350, and it's not even been long since I was at the 250 mark. So the support is immense, and I really do appreciate it. If you would like to see any other projects, please do get in touch. If you've got any other ideas of things I can model, then I'm always looking for kind of new ideas. There's a few things I'm working on at the moment, so probably in the next couple of weeks you'll see a few of those, but I am going to be focusing on getting this project kind of finished and over the line. So thanks very much for joining me, and I'll see you again soon at St Michael's Hill.